My brother asked during Thanksgiving dinner, which one of you has been sending money to my wife for the past year? What? I said, setting down my fork. What are you talking about? Is this some kind of joke? My cousin Delaney laughed nervously. Nolan, you're being weird. My brother Nolan didn't laugh. He put his phone on the table, face up. I'm serious. Someone in this family has been sending Priya money every month for the last 12 months. $2,000. Same day, every month, and she won't tell me who. The table went quiet. My mother's fork froze halfway to her mouth. Nolan, sweetheart, what are you accusing us of exactly? I'm not accusing, Nolan said. I'm asking. I found the deposits going back to last November. $24,000 total. She said it was from family and told me to drop it. I'm not dropping it. Priya was sitting next to him, staring at her plate. She hadn't touched her food. Priya, honey, my Aunt Marisol said gently. Is everything okay? Priya didn't look up. Please, just leave it alone. I can't leave it alone, Nolan said. His voice cracked a little. You've been hiding this from me for a year. A year, Priya. I thought we told each other everything. My father cleared his throat. Nolan, none of us have that kind of money to send every month. $2,000? That's serious money. Someone at this table does, Nolan said. Someone has been doing this, and I want to know who, and I want to know why. Delaney set down her wine glass. Nolan, maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's someone from her work. It's family, Nolan said. She told me it was family. That's the one thing she told me before she stopped talking about it. My mother turned to Priya. Sweetheart, whatever this is, we're a family. We can figure it out together. But Nolan deserves to know. Priya finally looked up. Her eyes were wet. She looked at my grandmother, sitting at the head of the table. My grandmother had been quiet the whole dinner. She usually was these days. Ever since my grandfather passed last year, she'd gotten quieter. Priya opened her mouth, then closed it, then opened it again. It was Nana, she whispered. Everyone turned. My grandmother set down her water glass very carefully. She didn't look surprised. She just looked tired. Priya, she said, I told you you didn't have to tell them. Nana, what is going on? Nolan asked, his voice barely holding together. My grandmother folded her napkin. She took a long breath. Then she said, Priya lost the baby in October last year. The one before this one. You didn't know because she asked me not to tell you. Nolan's face went white. What? She was 11 weeks. My grandmother continued, still folding the napkin over and over. She came to my house that afternoon. She didn't want to go home yet. She sat on my couch and she cried for 4 hours. She said she didn't know how to tell you. She said you'd been so excited. She said she felt like she'd broken something in you before you even knew it was there. Priya was crying now, silently. Nolan reached for her hand under the table. The money wasn't for the miscarriage, my grandmother said. It was for after. She went to a therapist, a specialist. Very expensive, not covered by insurance. She didn't want you to see the charges on the account. She didn't want you to ask questions. She was going to tell you when she was ready. Then she got pregnant again in February, and she was so scared, Nolan. She was so scared it would happen again. She kept going to the therapist. Twice a week sometimes. So I kept sending the money. Nolan looked at Priya. She was 7 months pregnant. Her hand was on her stomach. Why didn't you tell me? He whispered. Because you lost your dad 2 months before I lost the baby, Priya said, her voice breaking. You were already drowning. I couldn't put one more thing on you. I couldn't watch you break twice. The whole table was silent. My mother was crying. My Aunt Marisol had her hand over her mouth. Delaney was staring at her plate. Nolan didn't say anything for a long time. He just held Priya's hand. Then he looked at my grandmother, Nana. $24,000. My grandmother shrugged like it was nothing. Your grandfather left me more than I need, and she is my granddaughter now. That's what the money is for. Nolan stood up. He walked around the table to my grandmother. He knelt down next to her chair, and he put his head in her lap like he was 6 years old again. She stroked his hair. She didn't say anything. Priya looked at me across the table. She mouthed, I'm sorry. I shook my head. I mouthed back, don't be.